Hello everyone, welcome to Tourism TIDES, the With Africa videocast. Here we're spotlighting ideas, people and projects that use data and technology to transform tourism. And today we have the privilege of welcoming Sérgio Guerreiro. Hello Sérgio.
Hello Alice, thank you very much for having me.
Here we're going to have a very natural and informal conversation just to tackle a few topics. But first I would like to introduce you, and I already need to start reading because you wear a lot of hats. Sérgio is the Senior Director for Strategy and Knowledge Management at Turismo de Portugal, Chairman of the OECD Tourism Committee, Vice Chairman of the United Nations World Tourism Organization Committee for Statistics, member of the European Travel Commission's Market Intelligence Group and Market Intelligence Committee, adjunct professor at Nova SBE, and last but not least, the co-founder of With Africa. Sérgio, thank you so much for being here. Just to kick off, I would like to understand what drew you into the field of tourism and what has kept you engaged over the years.
My journey in the tourism sector goes 30 years ago.
Wow.
And I joined by chance. I had a summer internship and I fell in love with the industry. I think I cannot imagine myself working in a different industry because the vibe, the positivity, the people, the engagement with people is absolutely fascinating. I think it's one of the best industries to work, definitely.
Wow, and with such a vast experience and with such a rich international perspective, was there a project or initiative that made you really see the impact that tourism has in people's lives?
Well, I had the privilege of seeing so many projects during my life where you are able actually to change things. I remember to participate in a team that designed, I would say, our first modern tourism planning in Portugal when we released the strategic plan. And I think the most impactful moment was 3 years after the release. Everyone in the industry was asking, when is going to be the next one? So that makes the power of ecosystem working. Then I cannot forget when Professor Daniel Trace invited me here to create a West Point Institute of Tourism and Hospitality here at Nova. It was absolutely, for me, a powerful tool to first bring hospitality to such a powerful business school here in Portugal. Also engaging with students and designing new profiles of professionals for the future, and also creating, obviously, With Africa, which is, let's say, a key instrument and with a lot of potential to provide African entrepreneurs with tools to promote growth in the tourism sector there.
Yeah, great. And going back to Portugal, usually you see the country as a benchmark for tourism innovation and for tourism attraction. What would you say were the ingredients behind its success, or even after having seen the impact of the growth of tourism here, if there were any challenges and concerns that we can see, also considering learning experiences for other countries?
No, absolutely. I think the tourism industry is one of the fast-growing industries in the last 50 years. I think in the last 50 years we have almost had consecutive growth, and I think the key for success in a country like Portugal, we turn innovation not in something that you do when you have a certain challenge, but it's something that you take into your daily business practice within the industry. And that helped us to go through 9/11, go through the financial crisis, go through COVID, which was probably our biggest stress test that we had in our industry, because from one day to the other, we were forbidden to do our job. But I think the work that we did in our innovation ecosystem and with our tech startups helped us to be ready to fight during the COVID agenda and bring technology that was needed for engagement with customers, for doing several challenges that we had during the pandemic. And I think that it's clearly one of the added value of tourism as an industry is adaptability and resilience. And I think the sector in Portugal showed that in a perfect way.
Yeah, and when we look at emerging markets, what would you say are the key advancements that we should be looking at, or different tools when you talk about the capacity to collect data, and what would be the impact of that?
Well, tourism is a force for good in many countries, and especially for the less developed countries, is truly an opportunity to take people out of poverty and provide economic opportunities. And I think growing or opening to the market now as an advantage that they can incorporate from the beginning sustainability as a key element of their strategies. And for that, I would say the work that we've been doing in many international organizations and also in Portugal, tackling sustainability indicators is absolutely critical because you can bring into your planning process and your strategies a set of data that can help you to understand the impacts, the future impacts of what you are putting on the table as a development model, but at the same time allow you to track your performance in terms of destinations and where are you going and where not. So I think for emerging markets that is absolutely important. Sustainability is one key pillar. The second one, which I think is also connected to data and to development, which is connecting you with the authenticity of destinations. So how can you bring your differentiation criteria when you go into the market, and so it's not copying what has already went well in other destinations, is looking at yourself and your differentiating assets to put strategies forward.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said. Not only learning from the good or best practices from other countries, but also keeping your own culture and heritage and all. And when you look at the different African institutions or experts you've worked with, what do you see in terms of their goals, the potential, or even structural changes that they are paying more attention to when it comes to developing tourism in Africa?
Well, Africa is, I would say, first of all, tourism has a huge potential in Africa, African countries, and I think two key elements in terms of differentiation. First of all, nature, which is absolutely incredible, and the countries I had the opportunity to visit. It is truly unique in terms of those resources that are there. But I think the most important block of that has to be people. People is industry is the key industry asset for, I would say, any destination is the people. And when you think about young talents in Africa, you see a tremendous potential. We've participated with Africa and with the Westman Institute. We've participated in a hospitality forum in Nairobi 2 years ago, and it was absolutely brilliant. The number of young people that was setting up new projects, absolutely incredible resorts in the middle of nowhere, which are truly unique, and that creates, I would say, a clear path that allows Africa to see in tourism one of the vehicles for economic development within the continent. I think the potential is there. There are already several countries which are superpowers. Think about especially north of Africa, and think about Morocco, which is probably one of the most developed countries in terms of tourism. But if you start looking at the map, you find tremendous opportunities in many countries. And I think putting, again, sustainability as the core of the development model will be key for Africa to have success in terms of tourism.
Great. And now, already leaning towards the end of our conversation here, is there one thing that you wish more people, like from policymakers to academics or businesses, startup founders, is there anything you would would want to share with them, or one thing that you would like them to understand about tourism today?
Yeah, one thing that I've learned throughout my career, it's the power of the ecosystem. I think typically when you look at the industry, tourism industry worldwide is made of very small companies that typically work alone. And we're living challenging times because technology made everything so fast, so complex. And that is an advantage for big players and a huge disadvantage for small players that need to work in a different way. And here I truly believe first on the ecosystem and on the cooperation models between the public and the private sector, absolutely essential, especially when you think about a continent that is starting to bet on tourism as their future economic activity. Then connecting with academia, and I think the experience that we had here at the Westman Institute and also with the With Africa project was there is a lot of knowledge that today is produced in universities that is quite useful for designing strategies, for defining new models, new business models, or the ability of managing data to better management. And that transfer of knowledge needs to be effective. It's not just having these two groups working in separate ways and hoping that by chance the knowledge is transferred. No, I think building a strong ecosystem that makes them work together is absolutely crucial for that. And then startups. I think I've been working with startups for more than 10 years. And they have one amazing characteristic, which is there is no, it's not possible. So, and that thing, and that perspective also brings to the tourism industry, I would say, a very positive approach towards challenges. And we have everyday challenges. Think about the geopolitical issues that we're living these days. They demand fast responses. And tech startups are a very important tool in terms of bringing that energy, that talent, and that ability to tackle technology into the business models of companies, especially the SMEs. So finishing with this, I think this orchestration of a dynamic ecosystem is absolutely crucial to guarantee that tourism in the future keeps being resilient and able to cope with any challenges that come to the industry.
Great, and I think that's very much the perspective we have here at With Africa. So seeing the power of the ecosystem, seeing the power of working together, and really positioning ourselves as, of course, a project within an academic institution, being this connector between public sector, private sector, different innovators. And thank you so much, Sérgio, for your contributions, for being such a great supporter of this project. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm a passionate for the project, not only because I was here in the beginning, but see it growing and touching and having impact in the ecosystem in Africa. It's something that makes me truly happy. So congratulations on the initiative, and let's hope for the future.
Thank you, Sérgio. This was Tourism Tides, a With Africa videocast. I'll see you guys on the next episodes.